Somewhere beyond the recesses of time and space, two podcasters are set adrift in a machine, picking up transmissions of movies that are forgotten but not gone.
I mean, I'm kind of impressed that we made it through the entire episode without mentioning the fact that at one point a young child tells Angelina Jolie she should have sung "I Did It for the Nookie" by Limp Bizkit.
Another reason that movie was incredibly 2002.
I feel like for how many times we're watching a movie and there is some like dorky, pretentious, precocious kid in it, and it's like, oh look, it's little Truman in a movie. It's good to finally see when it's like, it's Landon in a movie. All right, I like that.
Although it wasn't little Landon. Landon was 20 years old when he was listening to Limp Bizkit, so...
I mean, that scene probably wouldn't have had the same charm. Honestly, I think I would have liked the movie more if Ed Burns' kid was like a 20-year-old fail son who still lives at home. You should have sang "I Did It for the Nookie."
We didn't talk at all about the soundtrack to this movie, and I just want to mention, we talked about Crystal Method. That was about it. But here are some massive 2002 vibes. The movie starts with during that flashback montage with "Sunny Hours" by Long Beach Dub All-Stars featuring Will.i.am. Maybe the most 2002 song there is. It has a falling in love montage to Jimmy Eat World, The Middle.
That I was on my feet when I got that one. That grounds you in a time. I feel like every movie had to have a montage set to the middle, usually around the middle of the movie.
Yeah. The sex scene is scored by Jewel.
The sex scene is scored by Jewel. There's a hell of a sentence. You just
We need to talk about the sex in this movie too.
We do.
But the final credits are to Foo Fighters.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I can't even. I don't remember what the song was, but I had it stuck in my head for like an entire day afterwards, just because.
Yeah, I don't think it was "Learn to Fly," but I can tell you in just 2 seconds.
Okay, well, I think it is important, though. We should talk about the sex in the movie, because I think
it is "Learn to Fly." Sorry.
It is "Learn to Fly." Okay. I think that I found the sex in this movie more, like, uncomfortable to look at and like more gross and unseemly than in... I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to think,
to look at? What is there to look at?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I mean, there's a movie like Eyes Wide Shut where they present a lot of graphic sexual acts just kind of out in the open, and it's kind of like, this is just unsettling. Or Showgirls, for God's sake. But in this...
But those aren't about sex. Those are about addiction. Those are about ambition.
Yeah, those are about being from different places. Look, I'm just... The sex scene in this movie is they have agreed, after having this nice day out with Ed Burns' son, that they're gonna have sex now that the kid is back with his mom, and it's like they say, they basically say it like, so are we gonna have sex? We're gonna have sex. Slow fade to black. Slow fade up on the perfectly made bed, and Ed Burns leading her upstairs by the hand, and then like kind of crossfade to them standing in front of the bed, and she's wearing... like a big sweatshirt, like his big oversized sweatshirt and sweatpants. She's been wearing this all day, and it's just like this long sensuous shot of him unzipping the very long zipper on her sweatshirt and just following it all the way down of this big baggy sweatshirt. And I found it hilarious, and the movie didn't think it was hilarious, but I'm wondering, do I only think it's hilarious because it gives me uncomfortable flashbacks to what having sex was like during COVID, where all anybody was wearing was sweatshirts and sweatpants?
Well, there's a more fundamental issue about the sex in this movie to me that the stage is set long before that scene, which is, it's like, oh God, how this is 2002. What, the script is probably written, John Shepard Smith or Smith, Scott Shepard.
Just start saying first names. You'll eventually get it.
He probably wrote the spec script in like the late 90s, maybe 2000, 2001 at the very latest, obviously, because it needed to get greenlit and everything.
Yeah.
The Seinfeld era is over. The sitcoms of stars living single in the big city, where talk of sex was very blatant. Just like, we're not gonna make any qualms about. We're not gonna speak in innuendo like we're a family sitcom. If we're gonna talk about sex, we're gonna say, "Are we gonna have sex?" or "We had sex." Like, it's just gonna be blunt and out there.
I mean, Seinfeld made a lot of comedic hay out of innuendos for sex. Well, I mean, I see the point that you're making, but continue.
Okay, so this movie being PG-13, though, like it feels a little immature, the way that they're talking about sex. Like, we're gonna have sex. Are we gonna have sex? You and I are gonna have sex. We're not gonna have sex tonight. If you had 7 days left to live, what would you do? I would probably want to have sex with you. Like, there's nothing sexy at all about the sex talk. You could like replace it with make an omelet. Or
if I had 1 week left to live, I'd be making a lot of omelets, and there'd be I'm talking like 9 egg omelets and a whole brick of cheese.
It's the subject of sex is just so objectified. No, that's not right. It's so neutered in a way. There's an innuendo for you.
Well, and there's also then after they have had their sensuous sweatpants lovemaking, that then they go back into omelets. After they made omelets together, they go into the office together and are like arm in arm and making out in the hallway, like where all their coworkers are around, just in front of everyone. And then he's like telling her, "Meet me in the supply closet, at 11:06, so we can make another omelet togetger."
I just went to the farmer's market.
I got some fresh peppers, if you know what I mean. I don't know, something about that just seems like, did a middle schooler write this? Is this what they just think people are doing at the office all day? That almost felt the dramatic leading to the bed and the crossfades and the sensuous fade to black felt the most like a throwback to a 50s movie out of anything in here, and not in a good way.
Yeah. The just whenever it talks about sex, it feels so awkward.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
because the movie is essentially sexless, despite it drawing from the sex appeal of Angelina Jolie. You could do this movie without sex and have it be just as effective.
Yeah, which is, I feel like, a point that so many Mormon dads have made after seeing Titanic or something like that. Oh, you could have just focused on the boat stuff. You didn't need to have her take her clothes off.
All right, well, speaking of 1990s sitcoms about living single in the big city, I have a Frasier question for you.
Oh, yes, good. This is what I'm put on this earth to do.
Lainey lives in Seattle.
Yes.
She lives in a lush apartment overlooking the city.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's in the same building as Frasier?
I think, well, look, at one point early in the movie, she and her fiance go to a restaurant called Elliott Bay something or other, and Frasier lives in the Elliott Bay Towers, so I could see them being in the same building. I could see Frasier inviting Lainey to a dinner party and just completely humiliating himself. Like, either it's her and he invites her and her fiance, and Martin is super jazzed because he loves the baseball player and is trying to get close with him, and Frasier is trying to get close with Lainey because he's heard that she's on the outs, and both Frasier and his dad are striking out with both Lainey and her husband and her fiance because they're both shitty people.
The episode starts out with a call-in. Lainey's calling in, "Frasier, if you had 7 days left to live, what would you do?"
Oh my God! If she'd called Frasier instead of talking to Ed Burns, would have been a completely different show.
Oh man! Wow!
I feel...
What an alternate universe.
by the end of the episode, Frasier has struck out with her, and he's watched everything that happened with Lainey in the movie, and he's like trying to get his career jump started. So he just goes on the radio and he's talking to someone and says, "Well, I'm sorry that you weren't able to fix your life, but there's a band called the Rolling Stones, and they once said that you can't always get what you want. Sing it, everybody!" And and everyone hates it, and he winds up getting fired from KACL instead.
Also, I would normally be worried about singing too many notes of a song and getting a lawsuit against us, but your ability to sing the lyrics completely out of tune to the song, I think, is going to protect us there.
It's really difficult because I'm such a gifted singer and a natural musician. I have perfect pitch, and so like I have to work twice as hard to kind of sound like just some jackass and not incur any copyright claims. I wonder also, how much did her news station have to pay to the Rolling Stones for?
Oh my God. Could they even air that?
Copyright violation?
Well, I guess it was live. They couldn't do anything about it.
Oh my God! The Stones are just coming down really hard on the local news for that. Money out of Mick Jagger's pocket.
Oh my God. All right, I had a question for you too. There's the social distortion moment, as I called it.
Yes.
Where she has like broken up, she's about to break up with Cal. She doesn't know that yet, but like she's reconnecting with who she used to be as a kid. I think this comes after maybe talking to her dad. Was this after she views one of the videotapes he saved of her? Something sends her down this like rabbit hole of trying to reconnect to where she was as a kid in high school. And this kind of begins the like authentic self portion of the movie, which I contested so hard last week, and I still stand by it, but I'm not going to bring that energy here.
We cannot go back into this.
A different question is, though, she's looking in her yearbook. She's listening to the music she used to listen to as a kid or in high school. She is eating Oreos, something you eat when you're in high school. She's smoking cigarettes, probably a habit she picked up in high school. Yeah. So, is the person you were in high school your authentic self?
Oh God, I hope not. If I've been living a lie since high school, then that is a lie that I never want to get out of.
Agreed. Yeah, that filled me with fear.
Well, look, if I'm being honest, though, if when I was in high school and I wanted to really cut loose, I would not shower and play video games all day. And now when I want to cut loose, I'm afraid it is very much the same thing.
You're living your authentic self.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess that's me. I didn't even have to humiliate myself in front of a large audience to do it. I'm just humiliating myself in front of whatever size of audience we have for this show. So presumably at any, like, if I faceplant hard enough, being my authentic self, being on this show, eventually I will get offered the opportunity to host 99% Invisible or something like that, or The Daily. I'll get called to, and I'm gonna interview Joe Biden on The Daily live for some reason.
Wait, is it going to be the real Joe Biden, or is it going to be a deep fake Joe Biden like they have in this movie?
It's totally going to be a 90s deep fake Joe Biden, like just a dude approximating his height wearing what seems to be a mask or heavy facial putty or something.
Shot in profile.
Yes.
Just further obscure.
To be fair, there is a guy I found on Facebook who's a friend of a friend who does believe that Joe Biden is currently a body double. He also believes Gavin Newsom and Taylor Swift also are body doubles. So,
okay,
I don't know.
Is he aware of the phenomenon called reconstructive plastic surgery?
I think that if you asked him about that, he would explain to you that reconstructive plastic surgery is actually part of a 1,000-year-old conspiracy by reptile people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So. Cool. So, what do you think was in the trailer for Life or something like it? You want to play the trailer game? How do you? I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's what we come here for lots of reasons, but that's what we always wind up doing here.
Okay. I think this one's going to be easy to pick apart because we can center the trailer on the satisfaction scene. That's 100% a scene built for a trailer. It doesn't make sense too much narratively. It makes sense for a trailer. So what context do you need before that? What context do you need after that?
Well, you've got to have her finding out she's gonna die. We got to have Prophet Jack telling her you're gonna die in 7 days.
So that initial news broadcast with him, So we get the whole like Seahawks are gonna be win by 1. Hey, I got it right this time.
Well, no, you didn't. The Seahawks are going to lose by 1.
Okay, goddamn. Okay, so anyway,
look, we're like, this is why I want to forget the movie, so you don't have to keep re-traumatizing yourself trying to remember if the Seahawks won or lost in this fake situation.
We'll just wait till we get to a sports movie. But okay, so there's gonna be that. Agreed, 100%. That is the pivot point of the movie. I want to circle back to the satisfaction scene. There is one question I have about it. I think I can't even say that we should give ourselves points for that because that's just a given. Where I say we can maybe determine if there's going to be a point for us is if the line of the guy in the control booth watching from the studio goes, "That is one crazy chick."
I am gonna say yes. I think that's in there. I think they're gonna go with that as one crazy chick.
Okay.
Because I feel like that is your lead-in for the then montage of like New Line Cinema presents and like a bunch of clips. I know New Line Cinema didn't make this movie.
Yeah, I know. There's a Pete scene I definitely think will be in there, which is when she's at Pete's place and he says, if you change the path of your life, it will be different. And she says, but I worked so hard on this one. I've got another line, which is, this one's a bit of a stretch, I realize. But in order to show that she's not with the man that she needs to be, I think they're going to go very superficial with it and not argue on your period. But I think Cal Cooper waking up in bed and going, what, like ESPN?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna get. Is it gonna be that, or is it gonna be? No, it's not gonna be them at the batting, like them hitting the balls. Okay, yeah, fine. Like ESPN.
I think that's just gonna show she's not with the right guy.
Yeah, and I think like there's going to be a montage shot. There's that day she has the big special day with Ed Burns and his kid, where they're like at the fair and she's holding drippy ice cream, and then it's them all at the record shop listening to music, bobbing their heads. There's going to be the pan across them bobbing their heads at the store listening to music.
Okay. All right. God, we didn't even talk about that. I had a whole half an hour of material about when you were able to go into Borders and listen to music.
Yeah, I maybe the people are better off without that trip down memory lane.
Are you saying they would be bored?
Define bored, I guess. I'm trying. Yeah, I don't know.
I've got one more. This one's a little dicey. I don't know if this line will be in there, but when I think we got to see her kind of second guessing. Like, she can't just take the prophecy as gospel. So I think we're gonna get a little bit of the alleyway scene. I wonder. The question mark I have is, will we get the line of him saying, "No, I'm so psychotic I can't remember as far back as yesterday," when she asks if he remembers her.
Yeah.
But I definitely think we'll get the line, "Watch your step on the way out," and she twists her heel on the crack, and she goes, "Oh, you saw that one coming too?" He's like, "No, I trip on that crack every day," which is also just a funny line.
A very funny line. I think that, I don't think we're going to get the whole, "Oh, I'm too psychotic to remember you." I don't think that's going to be in there. I think he's going to say, "Watch your step on the way out," but I don't even know if we're going to, and I think we'll see her trip on it, but I don't even know if they will give it enough time to then have him say, "I trip on that all the time." It's just shorthand for, "Oh, this guy's actually psychic."
Yeah, okay. I like that a lot. Yep. Okay. I think you've got it right on the money.
The only other thing that I'm thinking would be in there is there's got to be something like they're probably going to show her at the beginning of it with the chimpanzee playing with her hair, just to give a sense of like, "Oh, she's a local news reporter who does wacky stuff."
I agree with that. What's the big selling point between the love interest, her and Pete? What's the moment between the two of them the romantic moment?
It's going to be that zipper on the sweatshirt just going down for like about half the trailer. New Line Cinema presents.
There's going to be a defined moment. Define life. That is going to be a question that's a quote that's going to be in there.
Define life. Yeah, because they don't really kiss until she's in the hospital bed at the end.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think we've got like a good selection there also. Okay. So like, I don't know. I say we we dive into this one and see how we did.
Okay, sounds good.
Lainey Kerrigan reporting from the Capitol Hill.
Monkey!
Zoo. I'm here.
Monkey!
Chimpanzee
Just starting right out with it.
He's just a chimpanzee. He's naturally attracted to
We'll get a line with the British cameraman.
Yeah, for Greg Simons.
My hair is my trademark. Just like the I don't like to
Oh, of course, we've got to have the meet cute.
We have to work together.
These two don't get along moment.
The hate cute.
I have fun.
No. It's not fun if you have to pencil it.
For Lainey Kerrigan, everything was going according to plan.
Great apartment, great man, great friend.
Okay, so she's dating Cal Cooper, the baseball guy.
I can honestly say at this moment, my life
Big success, her
perfect.
career, everything's going her way.
Prophet Jack.
Yeah.
Noted
Then comes
street
Prophet
savant.
Jack.
Seahawks over the Broncos by 6. Take the points.
I don't really believe in all this stuff, but I'm up for this job I've been dreaming of my whole life, and I was just wondering.
We gotta see her being kind of a dick in order to
Well, you heard
kind of
him,
get the
folks.
hook of the movie.
The Seahawks are gonna win, and
Things have to change for her.
It's gonna hail.
And next Thursday, you're going to die.
They gave him a lot more space than I was expecting.
Prophet Jack?
Yeah, I just didn't expect him to get that many lines.
I'm gonna die.
Oof.
Something wrong?
Now it looks like a horror movie.
Vision.
Yeah, like ESPN.
No,
No!
P. There's no N.
You did it.
I am not going to die. I've been
Wait,
thinking
where was
about
that scene?
life
That
and
wasn't
what's
in there.
meaningful.
Take a deep
That wasn't in the movie.
This is
Yeah,
making
that's
the movie
the-
look better.
Light
you're
falling
trying
from
to
the
have sex.
I
sky?
am not trying to have sex with you.
Yeah.
This spring,
If you change the
Huh?
path you're currently on, the outcome is going to be different.
But I've worked so hard on this one.
Oh, you nailed it.
it's time to stop
I changed the
planning
path of your life.
That is
Oh,
John.
gross.
Hi, Bob.
That is one crazy chick.
Dude!
and start living.
Oh my god. Wait,
We got the head bobbing. The head bobbing.
I got this
wait,
job.
there was a whole dance scene in there of people in a diner spraying
You were wrong. If she
whipped
dies
cream- whipped cream on her
tomorrow, then she
pancakes.
doesn't get the job. And I was right.
Oh,
gotta
running
gotta
through New
run,
York.
Run through the airport.
Life, or something like it.
Life or something like that. April 26th. Don't go see Jason X, but do.
Wow,
Jason
man.
X is a movie I would send back to modern memory. Okay.
I would argue people have never forgotten it, or mainly just because I
Fair
talk
point.
to you all the time and you won't stop talking about it.
I am both shocked. I knew at some point we would watch a trailer that would have something in it that wasn't in the final movie. I was just surprised that seemed to be more exciting. The stuff that we saw in the trailer, there were more exciting moments that didn't end up in the movie.
The fact that she's like at a diner surrounded by colorful dancing people spraying whipped cream onto stuff, why is that not in the movie? We'd remember
Or the
if
light
you did
falling
that.
behind her as she's walking through.
Yes, that's like if they kept, like we were talking about this last week, if there were near misses throughout the movie, it would be way more interesting. Do you think that they made a memorable movie and then edited it into a forgotten movie?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I could easily see studio notes either saying we need this to be more comedic or we need this to be more dramatic. Maybe they don't say that often, but I mean, I can see some interference or even creative decisions going, yeah, this feels tonally off, or this moment was a little too big, and so we had to scale it back. Because, when that skylight falls, she's, at her like big job opportunity, and
it's right at the end,
butting up against that dramatic irony of Ed Burns learning that the prophecy is probably true.
I'm also surprised how much of the movie they give you in that. Like folks, you could just watch the trailer and get about the same amount of juice as you do from the movie. I mean, and you completely nailed it on the whole change the path of your life. I worked so hard on this one exchange.
That felt like such a like mission statement of the movie.
Yeah.
Of her character up to that moment of like, I don't want to change, but you're gonna have to because the movie tells you have to.
And also on the ESPN line, I mean, I think you just have a better sense of trailers than I do. I really was, we got out of 9. We had 9 guesses and we got 6 of them right. That's pretty good.
All right. Do you remember how that stacks up to Operation Fortune, Ruse de Guerre?
It stacks. We did way better on this one. Operation Fortune, we had 8 guesses and we got basically 1 point total. We were half right on 2 of them. So maybe we're just better at predicting trailers for weird, offbeat, old romantic comedies than we are for spy thrillers.
I'll take it. Oh man. All right. Well, listen, I enjoyed this. I it's not a genre I go back to very often, so maybe that's why I'm a little kinder to it than I expected to be.
Yeah, and a little meaner to Ed Burns' character than you expected to be.
He's just so gross. He's just so gross.
Define gross.
Pete the cameraman. That's all I have to say.
Yes, the seminal character from American folklore, Pete the cameraman.
All right, well, I guess there's only one thing left to do, because we have covered this movie beyond comprehension. Let's see what the machine has in store for us next.
Okay. Oh, hey, all right. We are moving forward to July 27th, 2016.
Oh, a tumultuous year for me. But this is also saying it's going to get worse because we have to do CrossFit and fit into a loincloth.
God, all of this, and I'm going to have to be desperately trying to register voters in Wisconsin, and yet fail.
Real life, history. All right, for Truman Caps, I've been Landon Solano.
For Landon Solano, I've been Truman Caps. Thanks so much.
We'll see you next week, folks.
Movie Memory Machine is part of the Gruntwork Podcast Network. Join our Patreon at patreon.com/gruntworkpodcast to keep the machine running. Theme song by Porky's Groove Machine. Rate us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen. For more information on today's show, visit moviememorymachine.com.